Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Full Force News Burst Live with me, Christopher McLeod AKA Diagnostic 80, brought to you by REBORN.com. It's all about Crystal Ball and Snake Eyes version 4 tonight. Yes, we've got an image that's popped up of what is pretty obviously Snake Eyes version 4 secondary, isn't it? And of course, Walmart have revealed the preview of what's to come for the 13th of March. And the Walmart CollectorCon Crystal Ball exclusive, with complete with lots of phenomenal promo images, which we're going to get stuck into in it. Loads of questions already coming in already in the comments, being bombarded by everyone. Hello, everyone. I hope everyone's having a good Thursday evening. It's been a long week, but I feel like we're at the end of the week now rather quickly. It's weird that, isn't it? Feels like it's been a real ridiculous one, but then also, anyway, it doesn't matter. Yeah, so we've got a couple of things to talk about tonight. Obviously, beautiful promo images, which I can't wait to get stuck into. And of course, that image courtesy of Shaw Lu, which we'll talk about as well. Should we do it? Yeah, let's do it. How? Right, so we'll start with Snake Eyes version 4 and the possible first look at the secondary and probably torso as well, I imagine, for this figure. Now, here is the image courtesy of Shaw Lu, who posted this morning. I want to say, or like late. No, it might have been late last night. Yeah, that's right, it was. I posted it in the morning because it already done the rounds by the time I woke up. But yeah, funny thing is, I go to bed really early, so I miss most of the important things that happen in the community because it always seems to kick off around like 10:30 onwards. Between 10:30 and 3 a.m. is where you get the most activity in the sort of like cheeky news realm, like any sort of like sneaky image kind of like leaks, any listings might kind of pop up randomly like 2 a.m. or something stupid like that. I'm always asleep, so I miss it all. So I wake up usually to a bevy of messages from multiple people going, "Have you seen this? Have you seen this?" And I'm like, I've literally have only just pulled my face off a pillow. I've only just got over the fact I'm not in my dream at that point, whatever that may have been, dream or nightmare, depending on how that's gone. But yeah, also so many live streams this week. My goodness, it was obviously the weekly, not the weekly, sorry, the Toy Fair news stream on the live stream on Saturday. I did a Patreon on Sunday. Then there was one on Monday, regular one, news burst on Monday, regular news burst on Tuesday. Did I have a day off yesterday or did I do one yesterday as well? I can't remember, but it feels like every night I've been doing live streams and it's great. This is awesome. I also have a feeling that I was kind of hoping that we wouldn't get Crystal Ball reveals or updates until a little bit closer to the 13th, but hey ho. Here is Snake Eyes, by the way. So Snake Eyes version 4 was a name only reveal, dropped a little. I didn't I, Justin? I did every week, every day. So yes, this was a name only reveal, dropped when was that? Probably the end of last year, right? I think so. And that was the maybe it was SDCC or something, or PulseCon. PulseCon. I think it was PulseCon. Stop saying PulseCon. In any case, that was a name only reveal that we've had for a little while. And we were quite surprised, weren't we? Because we'd seen loads of leaks of pieces, parts, secondaries, weapons, you name it. We'd seen all sorts of leaks for multiple figures that we saw as well at Toy Fair, which was great, revealed there. But hadn't, to this point, seen anything for Snake Eyes version 4. So there's a little bit of like, I wonder if when we're going to see that. There you go. Lo and behold, there's old blue torso Snake Eyes. Now, I've got this image as well to the right of it. Now, if this was an image that was sent to me at the same, I think Shaw Lu posted both of these at the same time with that little circle around it, sort of signifying that kind of chest cut and how like you can see like almost like the separation of the two pecs, you know, the line down the middle of them, and you can kind of see the same thing happening on the torso on the new kind of like secondary and possibly torso we're probably going to see as well underneath. So it looks really nice. It looks really like form fitting, quite kind of tight, doesn't look bulky, which is nice, like very much like the original, isn't it? Very form fitting secondary. It's doing the same things shape wise, it's doing the same thing, pockets, layers, texture, all that kind of good stuff is in there still. There's like that sort of black under vest that they've kind of kept there, but in like the sculpt of the secondary. So they've made life a lot easier for themselves, you know, rather than having sort of like the torso doing a lot of that work. I think the secondary does a lot of that work. So they can probably, you know, it might just be a reuse for the torso. I don't know, but I don't know, probably not. I don't know. It's hard to tell. I'm crap with identifying parts. Genuinely, you could put two parts next to each other on the screen, and I wouldn't be able to recognize the same thing. So, yeah, but it does seem to have all of the right kind of elements and the right parts. It is unpainted, Stanley. Yeah, I'm sure that's the case. I'm excited about the SC and Polar Bear release, says Justin Anderson. The bare hands is the Snake Eyes I grew up with. And also the glow in the dark hands are amazing on that. It's like the 0616 scale figure question mark. Don't like to me, this is leaning, especially with the secondary, is leaning heavily towards that vintage classic version 4 Snake Eyes for me. So excuse me. So I think they're going to be, you know, this is going to be one of those kind of very vintage, true vintage sort of kind of designs by the looks of things. Suit you, sir. Thank you, Mark. Suits you, sir. It's not full force if it's not 24/7. That's true, Scott. That's very true. Joe says that Snake Eyes and Polar Bear are bad double hockey sticks. I got it on pre-order. Samesies, Joe. Anyway, this is this is what we have to go on at the moment, and like I said, leaning very close to that vintage style. I'm very excited for this one. This is a Snake Eyes. I mean, I'd probably say that about every single release we ever hear about, or every single name only, or render, or, you know, whatever we see, I'm excited for. Of course I am. But this particular Snake Eyes is a huge favorite of mine. So I cannot wait to see this one in the Classified series. Right then. So that's Snake Eyes. We will move on now to the next bit of news, which is Classified Crystal Ball, or Richard King, as they've named him, which is a lovely little kind of homage to the Richard Bachman Stephen King scenario, isn't it? So just if you're not like 100% sure about that, it's effectively Stephen King's name and his pen name, both, you know, kind of utilized, because obviously Stephen King and his son Owen, wasn't it? I think it was his son Owen, did this as a, or, you know, worked on this character for the G.I. Joe line quite famously. And I believe Owen King got his name attached to Sneak Peek. So I'm hoping, this is what I'm hoping for, that when Sneak Peek inevitably comes out, there's a connection with Crystal Ball. I think that would be amazing. But that's a really nice little touch from I imagine that's the copywriter, Mark, who we've talked about on the channel before. I believe he has a lot to do with the kind of like obviously the copy, but a lot of the kind of naming sort of things and those sort of aspects. He often is, you know, kind of in kind of the ones responsible for doing those. So shout out to Mark on that. And I've got to say, I think that's a really nice touch with the Richard King scenario. So like a little combination of both Richard Bachman and Stephen King combos there. Good old Dick King, indeed, Scott. Vincent Price got buff, says Leon. He did. They have made this Crystal Ball is an absolute beauty of a figure, by the way. Anyway, this is the packaging. Scott's saying intelligence 2, shield 3, psyops 4, coercion 3. Thank you, Scott. That's actually not bad. Crystal Ball's got some, they've given him some decent numbers there, because obviously psyops, of course he's going to be, who's going to be better than him? Him and Psycount are going to be the psyops kings, aren't they? Coercion's a good one. I would probably say he'd probably more like a 4 in coercion personally. Shield, he's got a shield, so for me that's a 4 straight out the bat. Intelligence, up to you, but it's you know, a good, he's got good scores is what I'm saying. They haven't kind of like given him any like low numbers, which is nice. It's not like, because there's a few absolute like big names that, you know, we've had in the classified series, and they've got like a 1 or like a, you know, just like a standard level for like one of the things, and you're like, but they're a specialist in it. So I think, yeah, in this case, he's got some good numbers on that one. Thank you, Scott, for the breakdown of his specialties, his abilities. Now, also on the back of the packaging, I got a bit excited, and I admit I may have overstretched a little bit on this one, because to be fair, the more I look at this, not that. Oh, have I not done a zoom? I did a zoom in. I swear I did a zoom in, and it's just not appeared on there. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, no, I did do a zoom in. My apologies. I just didn't put it in the right order. There we go. So on the zoom in on the back of the packaging, I kind of highlighted that character in the background thinking, oh, that sort of looks like a Night Viper. But then everyone was kind of like, isn't it just Firefly? And to be honest, the more I look at it, the more I'm like, yeah, you can kind of see the camo pattern. It looks like him. It looks like he's something. It's probably Firefly, honestly. I just had that, you know, that thing where I see snake armors in the back of everything. That's an in joke if you've haven't watched many moons ago. I think it was was it the Ram cycle? I want to say it was either the Ram, not the Ram, the Night Pursuit, or I think it was the Night Pursuit background. I could have sworn I could see a snake armor in the background, but no, that was just me seeing things. So in this case, I think this is another one where I literally just no, I don't think it's a retro Firefly Viper Scout. I think it's just the Firefly that's in the classified series, the one that's already technically a vintage style version of Firefly. In any case, I looked at this the first time, and I just instantly went to Night Viper because of, you know, the fact that this is a Walmart exclusive, and the fact that I just assumed that, because obviously the leak of Night Viper has happened in terms of the name, the listings, I should say, and I thought, oh, I wonder if they're, you know, cheekily throwing that out there, but no, it's, I don't know. It's up to you at the end of the day, but to me, it just looks like Firefly. So the more I look at it, the more it looks like Firefly. I guess we'll find out soon. I will probably put some feelers out to see actually what is on what the character, who the character is, just to see if there's a confirmation on that one. But to be honest, I think it is just Firefly, and I was getting ahead of myself. My apologies. What is the setting though, Leon? It looks like the top of the building. You know, is it the Mars one in the comic, or is it Extensive Enterprises, or the Mars building, or the Cobra building? It might be the Cobra Consulate building in the comics, right, guys? Mark, you're in the comments. You know what I'm talking about when they infiltrate the Cobra Consulate, and I know Crystal Ball isn't really part of that, but it looks like the setting, doesn't it, for like the roof of the consulate, where the helicopter happens, where they, is it Snake Eyes, Stalker, Storm Shadow, etc., etc. Do you know that particular part of the comic? Again, I can't remember off the top of my head. That's where my brain goes to when I see the top of this building. So yeah, and that's probably maybe why I'm thinking it might make more sense that it's Firefly, but also Crystal Ball, I don't think had anything to do with that particular issue, but I could be wrong, or that arc. Anyway, cheers. But yes, Mark, if you're in the comments, I know you're an absolute comic fiend. Could be, looks like it might be on fire, like in the comic. There we go. Thank you very much. I think you're right. I think that's spot on. In any case, there you go. It's a nice little background. To be honest, I love these. Even if they don't show a lot of homage, I love the settings they throw them in sometimes. And then, like, I don't know, it just gets a bit exciting to kind of think, oh, I wonder what's going on narratively. Because that's the other thing. We don't really have well, we have the Skybound universe, which is effectively classified in comic form, isn't it? But we don't have the narrative that's kind of being weaved by the classified team on the toys. We don't really have that in some sort of form fashion thing. That would be really cool, just to have some of those storylines maybe weaved into maybe a Skybound classified comic would be kind of cool. I know they're doing some amazing things, and I'm not, trying to say that they need to add all these other things, but wouldn't it be great? Wouldn't it be great to get that little bit of extra? There's a lawn on the roof, says Leon. Is it lawn? I don't know. It just could just be textural. I'm really glad they kept these figure shots from the Plastic Free days. Me too, definitely. Was the firefighter in Springfield or just generic suburbia? That's a good question, Leon. I might ask that question to the appropriate parties, Hasbro, because they might be able to kind of tell you at this point, because obviously it's out there now. It's not like, a secret. So yeah, they could probably kind of fill us in on that one, or at least tell us what their thought process was, the reasoning behind it, all that kind of jazz. So yeah, I'm sure it's like standard suburbia. It's more kind of generic, but it could be Springfield, it could be Millville, it could be insert any American related to the G.I. Joe universe town or city in here, sort of thing. Anyway, so that's that. We also get some images, of course, of him on the white background too. The sort of layout image with all of his gear, the sword. In fact, let me read the exact because the information that they have incorporated is actually really cool. I'll read you what it says on Walmart.com. Here we go. I've cut all of the first bit of stuff, which is the generic bit they always say, and then I'll say, new to the G.I. Joe Classified series line, Richard Crystal Ball King comes ready for adventure with multiple points of articulation for high posability. This Richard Crystal Ball King figure contains 8 character-inspired accessory pieces, including an alternate hand, cool, Dire, D-I-R-E, which stands for Dread-Inducing Responsive Energy, and that is a Dread-Inducing Responsive Energy Tech Projected Monster Mask. Brilliant. So that one actually, especially like Lenny was talking about, kind of creating things to make people believe they're seeing something else. So in this case, it is tech related. So he's not like, hypnotizing them necessarily, and he's certainly not affecting their judgment with like gas or, sort of scarecrow style. So in this case, it looks like the mask is a dread-inducing responsive energy tech projected monster mask, which is amazing. What an amazing name. And that's Dire, D-I-R-E, tech projected monster mask. Lenticular hypno shield with attachable fear manifestation. Wow. Mark has outdone himself on this. Lenticular hypno shield with attachable fear manifestation, which is that little clip that goes on the front of it, that little kind of cover, which is amazing. I love that they gave that the name attachable fear manifestation. Spectrally charged sword. I like it. So that's actually, they're saying that's spectrally, they're saying that's specifically a ghostly sort of like, that's magic going on there. So we've got tech, we've got hypnotism, and we've got magic going on in the same figure here. Isn't that crazy pants? Yes, Kev Jewel, it will go up on Pulse in small amounts as it does every single time on the day of reveal, on the day of pre-order drop, which is the 13th at Walmart Collecticon. So yeah, it will go up on Pulse for premium members, I imagine, first in very limited quantities, as they always do, the same thing. What was I saying? Spectrally charged sword, crystal ball, like actually not him, but an actual crystal ball with ghostly tendrils. I like the sound of that. And a weapon accessory. Oh, his pistol. Interesting. G.I. Joe and Hasbro and related trademarks, yada, yada, yada. Then there's another little bit of extra on here. Let's see if there's anything important to read. Classic Richard Crystal Ball King inspired design features a classic design updated to bring the Cobra hypnotist and paranormal scientist into the modern era, and 8 accessory pieces inspired by the character's rich history. Highly posable with premium detailing, G.I. Joe Classified Series Richard Crystal Ball King action figure features set features exceptional detailing and articulation for cool posability to create dazzling dioramas. Some poses may require additional support. Come on, you poses. All the usual stuff, really. Nothing to add there. But that's the blurb for Richard Crystal Ball King, to give him his full name, full title. Do the Walmart exclusives go up on Pulse at the same time? Yes. They go up at the same time. Every single time. There'll be limited quantities on Pulse as it's up on pre-order for Walmart. Every single time, without fail. Now, will they stay up for very long? No. But they'll go up on Pulse every single time. Doesn't change. They're not going to tell you that. They're not going to confirm that officially. That's what happens every single time. And it's in the morning, isn't it? It's like 9 or 10 a.m. I can't remember now off the top of my head for EST for us out here. I can't remember off the top of my head what time, but it's in the morning. It's Collector Con's always in the AM, isn't it? It's like 9 a.m. Eastern, I think, usually. It could be 10 a.m. Eastern. I can't remember. Anyway, that is that. Now we're going to look at some very cool promo images. Now, he does, like, I will say, I personally didn't think. Well, I like Crystal Ball anyway, right? So I was excited for this figure no matter what. And I know some people don't really like him, but for those that were kind of like, I've seen a lot of comments where people were like, I wasn't interested, I didn't care, and then I saw the figure and I'm in, I want this figure. And it's really cool what an update can do, or what, like, even something in like that 6-inch scale with a little bit more 10 a.m. EST. Thank you, Roger. So 10 a.m., 13th of March, Walmart Collector Con, pre-order at the same time, limited quantities on Pulse. So yes, so like I saw a lot of comments. People were like, yeah, like just not interested. Then I saw it and I'm in. So this is definitely one of those things where putting this character in the 6-inch just like arena and all the detail that goes into that, the fun accessories as well. Like the accessories really make this figure. And for a character that from back in the day was like, you know, sort of like one shield and that's it. He just came with a shield. People thought it was a little bit kind of dorky. Didn't really make it a great deal into like the other media. But now, like, that's the thing. Like, there are some of these characters are kind of oddball. And I think some people are a little bit sort of like skeptical about them being in like their G.I. Joe. And I kind of get that. We all have our own little kind of like, I don't know, collector focuses or like periods of time with the brand, because it's been going on for so long. You know, there are people that love the early 12-inch figures. There are people that love the kind of A Real American Hero 82 and that's it. And then there are people like 82 to like 86 or whatever. And then there are people that love the kind of the 90s era. Then there are people that like, you know, specifically Sigma 6. I'm looking at you, Justin Bell. Then there are people, you know, there's just people that like different parts of the brand either a little bit more or have a different kind of connection with it than others might. For me, as soon as I got, like, obviously my bread and butter is 87 international heroes, right? UK, Action Force, what have you. That's my bread and butter. That's what I love so much. But it kind of evolved, and you know, I consumed it differently. So like from like 87 to 94, it was just, I don't know, it was an obsession. And then I kind of like dropped off around high school time, and then wasn't really aware of what was going on after 94, up until, you know, I was like 2002, I want to say. It was, you know, I missed the whole, like, you know, I missed a lot of different iterations of G.I. Joe, put it that way. So I get that. But in some cases, there are some characters that are just really quirky and weird, and people just aren't into it. And then they see something like this that comes in the classified scale with all the kind of bells and whistles. And it's like, oh, hang on. I like this. I need this. I want this. And a lot of people said that. Blitz was one of them. Yep, you said that. Definitely did. White says, I like the original toy. He just needed something more than a shield. Having the sword gives him more depth. Yeah. I resisted Raptor until I got it in hand. Classified seemed to have also redeemed Crystal Ball. No complaints, says Liquid Identity. Yeah, like I've got this is the funny. I found this kind of. I got this feeling around certain characters. It sounds weird, doesn't it? I got this weird feeling around certain characters. When in like the kind of modern 4-inch era, like with the club and like that sort of thing, where they would do like a weird quirky character like Raptor and they would make an absolute banger of a figure. And it was that thing of like you could just make a derided character very, very cool. And it seemed to be the case, you know, in the 4-inch era as well, like that modern 4-inch era. So, and it's just kind of done the same thing, but like gone up another scale for me. So yeah, I'm so down for this. I'm so down for Crystal Ball. Like Nemesis Immortal, phenomenal. Raptor, just phenomenal. I'll use the same word over and over again. I love the quirkiness of the GI Joe stuff, and I think what they're doing with with Classified is just out of this world. The 13th of March, Stanley, is the release date. March 13th, 10 a.m., 9 a.m. Eastern. Hang on, what was it? Someone told me. 10 a.m. Eastern. Walmart Collecticon, March 13th, 10 a.m. Eastern. Cool. Ryan says, I like the original 82 figures, but they were generic as heck. Classified made characters like Grunt look awesome and exciting. I have to agree. Jason said, I just like good action figures. The modern 4-inch era is probably my favorite, but I'll get anything if it looks great. Another very good point there, Jason. And Paul says, maybe the figure I'm most looking forward to right now, this Crystal Ball one, I'm assuming, Paul. Yes, I think it is. Honestly, when I was, again, not rubbing it in, but when I was at Toy Fair and I was looking at these up close and personal and just getting I was out of all of them. Obviously, the snake armor just absolutely blew my underpants off. Like I was kicked out of the venue because my underpants weren't on anymore. It was pants down time at that point. I'm telling you now. But the snake armor really blew my socks off. The crystal ball, again, looking at that, just I don't know, just absolutely. It was just so much better in person than I ever thought it was going to be, ever. I'm going to have to start putting a banner up with pre-order information for these things. I am. That is not a bad. I should do that anyway. That's me not really doing my due diligence. But yeah, if I had like a, oh, you mean when is it in hand? I don't know. Does anyone know? I don't think anyone knows. That would probably, if it's coming out March, then it's probably going to be in and around whatever the release dates for the other ones are, which I think are like, well, let's face it, it's going to be the end of the year because of the delays, right? So because of the delay, I imagine everything is going to be kind of like, just imagine everything just being mushed to the end of the year. So it doesn't really matter really about kind of release dates at this point, because it's all going to be coming out at the same time, or it's going to be around the same time, I would say, in that case. Pants on the ground. I was pants on the ground, Toy Bounty. I was in more ways than one. I was sort of like pants on the ground doing like, a roving reporter thing, but also my pants were on the ground. Oh yes, Zap and Short Fuse. I mean, let's face it, I kind of expect Flash, Zap, Short Fuse. Who else is involved in that? Colonel Hawk. I suppose Steel is in there too. Grand Slam. Is that it? Is that it? Only 6 left? Yeah, I think that's it. Tell me in the comments, let me know if I've missed one. Said Grand Slam. So yeah. I it's not going to be long now, is it? Couple of years. We'll probably have the entire OG-13. As in like release years, which is slightly different, isn't it? That's like 6 months in toy release terms, isn't it? Like between now and what year is it? What are we in? 2025. Between now and the end of 2026, I wouldn't be surprised if we had the entire OG-13 wiped out, like done, sorted. Personally, only 6 left counting Hawk. Thank you, Ryan. I thought I was right. So yeah, Zap, Short Fuse, Stealer, Colonel Hawk, Grand Slam, Flash. Or have I said Flash twice there? Doesn't matter. I like Blitz saying Short Flash there. That's hilarious. It's like a mixture of Flash and Short Fuse. Right. Love this image. Got to shout out Matt and Corey at Hasbro for their phenomenal work. Again, this looks like kind of like a, sort of like a nightmare apocalyptic. What do they call it? Sort of like that, like Terminator 2. I forget the term now. Mad Max, Terminator 2, apocalyptic wasteland sort of vibe going on here. Lots of kind of smoke, lots of like all of that jazz. Love it. Dystopian, post-apocalyptic. Both of those is exactly the right thing I should have said. Thank you, Jedi Ben. Thank you, Liquid Identity. Thank you, Jamie Lynn. Thank you, Jason. Thank you. Oh, Scott said Armageddon. I like that too. Good movie. And thank you, Leon. Appreciate the help there, guys. The assist. Green Hawk with a HAL trailer cannon. Yes, that'd be dope. Hire to me. I'd be well into that. Do I think some of the OG13 are going to be in the HasLab or all individual releases? Asks Roddy McCants. Like that name. That's cool. Roddy. I would say it's probably going to be a mixture of lots of different ways. I think we'll get individual releases, maybe the odd retro card, maybe like a figure vehicle, 2-pack, that sort of thing. I think they'll do it like that because I think a Colonel Hawk with a like a green MMS would be kind of cool, and it would give them a chance to reuse that MMS tooling. It sort of feels like that's going to happen at some point in the future, doesn't it? So I could see them doing that, or I could see it being a HAL laser would be kind of cool to do. And it would be a new thing as well, and we all love new things. But yeah, I could see them doing like 2-packs. I could see them doing like individuals. I could see one of the well, if we're talking HasLab, if like it was like, say for example, a Mauler, then I could see both Steeler and Heavy Metal being incorporated into something like that. Because I think if you get like a Mauler or a Mobat, it looks like it's pointing a bit closer to the Mauler if rumors are to be believed. Then I think if it was, the Mauler, I would probably say we're probably not going to get a Mobat unnecessary, and probably vice versa. So with that, I could see them like combining a couple of figures, throwing like a Steeler and a Heavy Metal in there, just to kind of fill out some of the the options as well. Yeah, but I would say personally, I think it would. They'd complete the OG13 by doing lots of different things. They wouldn't just like lump them all in the HasLab, for example. Because the other thing with that is you don't want to be putting individual characters necessarily, unless they're like. Well, here's another thing. Maybe they do like if they were to do a HasLab and have Heavy Metal with a Mauler, for example. Maybe you could do Night Force Steeler, because there is a precedent for that. They like doing alternate versions of main characters when they can in HasLab, so that you're not kind of hiding the main character version away that most people were probably going to want. So that would be like a thing that they would definitely probably do. So there's an option for you. And then obviously like later on pull out a regular Steeler. That'd be kind of fun. SFF, SV, F&G, that's a really good point. They should do a Mauler with a swap out Mobat turret. That's actually a really good idea. I know like they've both got very different shapes though, body wise. So you'd have to kind of tinker a little bit with the actual base body. But maybe you could do things. Maybe you could add things or take some stuff away to make it one or the other as well. So not just the turret, but maybe just a couple of other things could switch it around. But yeah. Anyway, Should we look at more images? This post-apocalyptic dystopian future. I guess it's also the fear stuff. So this is like us being affected by the tech, magic, and hypnotism, because that seems to be all the things that are involved in this. With Crystal Ball. Stanley's asked, any New York Toy Fair mention of HasLab or no HasLab in 25? No. But I'm going to go out on a limb here and say if there isn't a HasLab revealed this year, I will be very surprised. Just put it that way. I'll be very surprised if there isn't one. And I mean, I would go out on a limb and say I think you can expect a HasLab this year. But again, there's no official confirmation of that, and also nothing was said at Toy Fair, unfortunately. Glow in the dark would have made more sense here. Yes, Viper Scout. I kind of agree with that, especially considering they did glow in the dark pieces for Snake Eyes. Now, I'm assuming it is a cost thing. Like they can do the transparent a little bit cheaper than they can do the translucent, than they can do the glow in the dark. And that's why you only get like a few tiny little pieces that are glow in the dark for Snake Eyes, and you get like loads of pieces of like translucent green elements for Crystal Ball. So it's probably one of those things where they costed it out and said, well, this works because it's going to be fun for lighting. A lot of toy photographers have actually said in comments they prefer the fact that it is translucent rather than glow in the dark, because you're going to have fun additional lighting and so on and so forth to work with. There is additional light effect in this shot. There is, Stanley, 100%. It's not. This is not glow in the dark. It is. It's kind of translucent. Anyway, so yeah, again, looks phenomenal. All the different parts are really cool. It's funny when we were seeing all these bits leaked, we were all kind of like, you know, I wonder if they'll change the color or paint this. They sort of did. There are certain elements, especially on the Cthulhu mask or the dire tech-powered monster mask, I think it's called. And also, it's an alternate head, I believe, right? It's not a thing that goes over the top of Crystal Ball. I believe this is an alternate head, as opposed to a thing that goes over Crystal Ball's head. But it's still really awesome and very cool. We might have to get 2 of these, right? Good luck. Good luck on that one. This might be the best possible release of Crystal Ball that they could have possibly done. Agreed. Toys equals Midlife Crisis squared. Agreed. If the mask can be a pet, which Lenny did say in our interview on the floor at Toy Fair, is its name Dire then? Yes, it's Dire the Cthulhu mask is what he's called. Looks like a really nice figure. The pictures look really good. I agree, Eben, they're phenomenal. This one is really good. I love how just like the level of kind of like dry ice effect kind of floating across the floor. It's just perfect there, isn't it? Like it's just about covering. It's just about like helping Rob Liefeld draw it by cutting the feet out. But yeah, like it just has that kind of perfect kind of level, the darkness in the background, the light on all the parts, it's just proper good. And again, I pored over these before they went out, so just to kind of see if there were any other things that we could see in the background. There is something in there. It's like a tentacle of some description, isn't it, as well, in some of the shots. Kind of looks a little bit like some sort of like Cthulhu tentacle flowing around in there, but very subtle as well. Here's another beautiful shot. I love the fact that it's got that cover on it if you don't want the lenticular out, but also if you want him to be in full green up mode, all the pieces on him look really cool. The only thing is the crystal ball is also in effect, and he'd have to sort of kind of have to hold it with the shield on him at the same time. Maybe you could hold the sword and the shield in the same arm and then have the crystal ball in the other hand, so all of the parts were on show. Nick Thomas has asked, will the Night Vipers be Walmart exclusive too? No. So the Night Viper listing leak that came out is a retail standard wave of 4 figure. We can see it on the listings as we get through there, but that particular listing is not a Walmart exclusive. And it's been pretty on the money so far with all the leaked listings that we've come across so far. Destro clan creature confirmed, says Scott. Yes, indeed. Get that in a well with a big eyeball on it. Yes, please and thank you. They can float around him like in that one shot. Yes, actually, Paul, that is really fun. We'll get to that image in a second. In fact, it's coming up very shortly. We have this one of him kind of like, again, I like the the use of the hand there, that extra hand, like not holding the crystal ball this time, but just got him in like some sort of hypnotizing pose, like he's getting his shield ready. That shield's really cool as well. I love that effect, that lenticular effect. It's very neat. All of like the snakes go through the eyes and kind of come out the eyes. It's really, really cool, and a bit freaky and a bit gross. I love it. Yeah, so it's a nice shot, but then ooh, then the sword comes out of nowhere and the Cthulhu mask appears. It's all very cool. Bet it sells out, says Kevin. Oh, I would be really surprised if this doesn't sell out. Like, I hope it gives us like 45 minutes. It won't. That would be nice though, wouldn't it? About 45 minutes just to kind of, get everyone in the fandom what they need, and then done. His articulation is showing. Those aren't snakes, they're eels up inside ya. Indeed, Chris G. Finding an entrance where they can. Eels. So yeah, lovely shots, brilliant. Here's another good one as well, like firing the pistol this time with the time worm on it. I'm kidding, it's not a time worm. Lenny did mention that this is a sort of like, it's an old pistol, very kind of old school. What do you call it? Cowboy 6-shooter vibes, right? And with that, they've added this sort of like raw iron detail, like a little snake kind of detailing around it, which I desperately wanted to be a removable time worm that we could see later in like a Globulus release or something like that. But who knows? There's still time, I think, for for the team to hear that a time worm is absolutely necessary if they're going to do Globulus. That's got to happen, hasn't it? It's got to happen. Leon says that's clearly Croydon in the background. Shout out to my Croydon massive. It does look a little bit bleak London, blocks, tower blocks, doesn't it? Good point, actually, Leon. Maybe it is Croydon. The one prop I would like to see them give him is an old school pocket watch for hypnotizing. That's actually really fun, Scott. I imagine a lot of people are going to be running out looking for, either going on Etsy or going to craft stores to find 1/6 scale pocket watches just for this figure right here. I was set to see Globulus and Pythona as the SDCC this year, says Jedi Ben. Yeah, I know. Well, I wouldn't. There might not be SDCC is what I'm going to say on that one. So there might not have to be that sort of exclusive. I mean, what's his name? Nemesis Immortal was he? He was 1027 sort of Pulse exclusive. That was odd. That's like, I think it's basically a Pulse exclusive, effectively, but it was a 1027 exclusive, wasn't it? So you never know. You might get like a Pythona in the same way. Globulus might happen in some other kind of form or fashion, but either way, I do think we're going to have to see them. You can't have Nemesis Immortal, without Pythona and Globulus and a Royal Guard. Let's face it, they've got to happen at some point. Can we all also take a moment to remember when we thought it was so many different characters behind Nemesis Immortal, and nobody said Crystal Ball until we got the sword popped up? Too funny, right? The two necklaces that are shown on the leak, are they on him now? Let's have a look. Can't see any. There they are. Yeah, there they are. They're around his neck there. And they're around his neck on those images. Yeah, there they are. They're around his neck, pretty much, dude. Both of them are. So yeah, you can check those images on. I think everyone posted them immediately, so you shouldn't be too hard to find them stand to have a look at. But yes, he is wearing the neckline. The neckline. It's not the necklaces. Eben says Pulse exclusives confirmed. I love that. I just say like a like a speculative guess at something, and everyone's like, "Oh yeah, confirmed." You can't spell Nemesis Immortal without me. True, you can't, Scott. Crystal Ball was throwing illusions in the Immortal background. Yes, exactly. He was making everyone, he was hypnotizing everyone into thinking it was somebody else. Exactly, Paul. I said exactly what you just said. He had us all hypnotized to think he was someone else. Absolutely. I need the Royal Guard and maybe Scientist Cobra Commander if they are keeping Cobra La SDCCC exclusive, says Roddy. I don't think they are going to do that, because that would mean we'd have to wait till 2026 and 2027 to get them. There's a lot of line plan in there. So I would imagine they'll find other ways to bring us, lots of different cool characters. They don't all have to be SDCC. I mean, you've got Pulse, you've got Fan Channel, you've got Pulse Con, you've got, we've got New York now, or New York NYCC, which seems to be like something they want to kind of start doing that sort of stuff at. I don't think they've had an exclusive there, have they? But they've had like a panel and then drops and then pre-orders later sort of thing. But you never know. It could be an NY that they could start doing New York Comic Con exclusives in the future. Trying to think of the other ones. I said Fanmazon. I said Fan Channel. I didn't say Amazon or Fanmazon. But there's lots of different ways they can do this. Just a standard figure vehicle for like Globulus, really, or deluxes here and there and everywhere. 1027 is another option. We've got a couple of them in 2 years. So yeah, there's lots of options to get some of these like kind of more interesting, weird, quirky characters. But yes, that Cobra Commander, when he was like, just a young, brilliant young scientist, would be freaking awesome. But you could kind of do like a Cobra La, what they called citizens of Cobra La 2-pack. You have a male and a female with a couple of different heads options, a couple of different accessories, like secondaries and stuff like that. And that would be brilliant. What cool, you could do that as like a what do you call it? Like a troop builder pack, obviously, a troop builder 2-pack. And then you could just have loads of citizens for Cobra. That'd be so good. Did I ever see a floating Cthulhu head at camp, Chris? I don't think I did. Never did the kind of things to get that to happen, unfortunately. The Royal Guard has to be general release so we can army build. Absolutely. So childish. Royal Guard, if they did that, would have to be, it would have to be like, they could do like a deluxe version of it, so you get lots of cool stuff with it, including the massive, like that huge weapon they have, Kitty said. But you could do like a cool deluxe for a Royal Guard. But you're right, doing just like a standard army builder would make sense. Or a 2-pack, because that would be pretty rad, wouldn't it? Solomon Whip made Citizens of Cobra La. I think I've seen them actually, Josh. They were really cool looking. Anyway, beautiful images. Here's another one. Love this one of him with the crystal ball. It's really kicking off there. It's like Doctor Strange, this one, isn't it? This is like that moment when I can't remember. It might have been Spider-Man, when him and Spider-Man are trying to like do that. He's trying to do that. It was No Way Home or one of the last ones, isn't it? Or Far From Home. I can't remember which one's the last one. But it's when he's trying to make everyone like not forget him, but basically when they rip a hole in the blooming fabric of time and everything goes to absolute pot. This is what this is giving me vibes of. All the swirling lights around him and everything. It's really cool. I really actually want to know how they did that. I wonder if they had like one of those little LEDs on like a bit of string or something, and we're just spinning it round to get that effect, or if it might be After Effects as well. But I don't know, the way that some of those guys do stuff, the toy photographers. I know a lot of toy photographers, good ones. Some of you are in the chat right now. Some of the techniques you employ to get like some of these shots are phenomenal. Like Brian Hickey, shout out to Brian Hickey at Total Toy Books and so on and so forth. Kickstarter funded very quickly recently for the Star Wars one. Amazing stuff. He did the most incredible practical shot I've ever seen in my life, which was a shot for one of our episodes, a Visionaries episode that we did many moons ago, and he did the kind of promotional look, like kind of thumbnail for it. And he effectively got a bit of glass. He projected a kind of image of a kind of blue lion onto the glass and took a picture, getting it all lined up to make it look like the lion was coming out of Leoric's chest. And he did no post effects. He just took the picture. He basically effectively edited in real time, took the picture, and it is amazing. And it was like absolutely spot on. So, shooting the galaxies in the chat. Hey, Matt, it's in camera light painting. Oh, cool. I don't know what that means. Can we get you on the show again, Matt, so we can talk about this? Because we need to talk about some of these promo images, bud, because they're phenomenal. Phenomenal. And like as Paul mentioned, some of the best shots in the history. Yay! Okay, Matt, we'll get that sorted out a lot quicker than last time as well. I'll probably message you after the show. We'll get it sorted out. We'll see if Hasbro are cool with it. And then we will get you talking about these beautiful promo shots of Crystal Ball and all the other ones that we've seen as well, to absolutely get stuck into all of it. We should do that as like a thing. Whenever something new comes out, we'll literally get you on. We'll talk about the promo shots, because I think that'd be actually a fun little, like, fairly regular series at the end of the day. Anyway, Ryan has asked, did Shooting the Galaxy actually burn down a Barbie house for the Legacy Firefighter shots? To be honest, actually, I think I was saying that the Legacy Firefighter shots last time were the best ones in the line, and now I'm saying these are. It's like you keep leveling up there, Matt. So yeah, we'll have to talk about that definitely. Anyway, this is a beauty. I think this is my favorite of the lot. This is another good shot as well. This shows the crystal ball sort of floating. You can see the tendrils around it. You can just about make out the skull inside it, I believe, as well. I could see it a little bit clearer in hand. It wasn't super clear, but you could see it, and you can just about see it here as well. But that's a really nice touch as well. Absolutely awesome. And him kind of like manipulating it sort of in the background, holding the pistol. It's a great shot. Nothing sells these figures like these photos. That's so true. That is so true. It's funny, like I will get more excited about this sort of thing sometimes than the actual figures. And that's not to say that that's not to take anything away from, the actual figures themselves. But I just love digging into the images and sort of like, one, trying to find the narrative, because there's always a narrative going on in these shots. There's always like a little story, trying to work it out. Sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm absolutely wrong. And this one's a little bit more kind of straightforward, it feels. This is just like Crystal Ball effectively showing you what he can do, which is amazing. And it's like Snake Eyes and the polar bear. I was trying to work out the order of operations for that one, but it's the same kind of thing. Like I get so excited for these, and then of course not just that, but then the homages that get snuck in the background. 49 Brian, Chris, do we know when the Darklon wave drops? I would imagine the 18th, Brian, based on the fact that we've got a standard wave of 4 figures to be put up for pre-order, haven't we? So that next wave of figures should be the start of the year. Then there should be one in Yojo June. Then there should be another one around PulseCon. So effectively, I would say that March 18th is probably when we'll see that wave go up for pre-order. Hi, it's me, says Shooting the Galaxy, selling G.I. Joes one shot shoot at a time. Great work. Scott says Crystal Ball showing you his crystal ball before the cops show up. Indeed. But this is another beauty. And again, I've got to say, I can't. Man, has Crystal Ball ever been more sought after than right this second? I don't think so. And then, of course, the lenticular shield. So we can see that in this shot, the snakes are in the eyes of the skull, the eyes of the beholder, and it looks like there's a guy with a hoodie behind it, doesn't it? I know it's like the part of the blue snake, but it sort of does look like there's a dude with a hoodie behind the skeleton. It's almost like the guy in the hoodie has had his skull pulled out of his hoodie, and by snakes. I wonder if that's what it's all about. Will that now ruin everything? Is that going to ruin it for people? Are they only going to see a guy with a hoodie standing behind the skull now on the shield? If so, you're welcome. But then and then you can kind of see like the snakes moving out of the eyes, and then almost like kind of like the eyes lighting up, which is pretty cool. The guy with the hoodie's still behind him though. But yeah, it's really, really neat. And again, showing the kind of sorry, can't see it, unsee it now. There you go. See the lenticular action of the snakes moving and the dude in a hoodie behind it staying there. Sorry, guys, my bad. But yeah, very, very cool. And again, as soon as we saw that shield, I was kind of like, yeah, that's like a really good crystal ball accessory. If he only comes with that, that'll be fine. But they gave him loads of other cool stuff as well. Yeah, lovely stuff. And then that's it. That's all the images for today. So I have not greened out Crystal Ball because he's technically not up for pre-order yet. But obviously his preview, there's a link, so it's probably gonna be green the next time you see that. I'll probably. It's only the 13th, it's not too far away. And then yeah, we can all, when that pre-order drops, we can all be really angry that we couldn't get one because Walmart are terrible sometimes. FC Vibe says, what hoodie guy? I don't see it. Good. Then don't try to see it because then you won't be able to unsee it. Frank says, I'm very late. I've missed 55 minutes of Chris making the lenticular shield dance. I just did it for that entire time period, actually, bud. You're right. Oh, Stanley says, Cold Slither Box 163. Yes, each figure is, yeah, each figure's separately, what's the word? Are they separately numbered though? I think they're blister cards. Yeah, I don't think they're boxes. I don't think they're boxed, so I don't think they're numbered. I think they're on like kind of they'll probably be on like a retro card, I'd imagine. Because I think Emily said blistered, didn't she, Scott? Yeah, Scott. Yeah, individually blistered, not boxed. Yeah, I think the set is one number in that sense. Yeah, hopefully that makes sense. And also, yeah, I was just like I was kind of like hoping a little bit that I had seen a Night Viper in the background of that Crystal Ball card back. Do you know what's really annoying me so much? The fact that I didn't take pictures of the back of the sodding boxes that were all on show. I was so annoyed with myself. No one else did either. But like, and it's not like, I don't think anyone thought, can we just trash the entire setup? Can we just move every box and take a picture of the back? Like, obviously, you don't want to do that. But like, I asked Lenny at one point while we were there, and he's like, yeah, let's do it. Which one do you want? And I went, all of them. Jokingly, I just wanted the ones that were new. But yeah, like I was so mad that then we got the kind of like order to kind of move out, and I'm like, no, because we would have seen the back of that box well in advance. We'd seen all of them, and we'd have been able to pick out all the bloody homages, wouldn't we? I feel so bad. I feel like I let the entire fandom down. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, guys. It's something to look forward to, I guess. But I say I let the whole fandom down. I just disappointed in myself. Eben says, Chris, no idea if you asked Lenny regarding Cold Slither, but did you or did he say, yes, it will have a mic? I didn't ask him. Again, another obvious thing. I forgot to ask him. I assume so. But I'd be very surprised if there's no microphone in there, honestly. How dare you, Chris? Indeed. Thank you, Paul. 164 is Beachhead and Quick Kick. Thank you, Jeffrey. We're not mad. We're just disappointed. Out shell space. I know. I'm disappointed in myself, honestly. Scott says I was annoyed with you too for that, but I'm OCD about the icons. I'm so, because it was one of those things. As soon as I realized it, I got all excited as well, and I was kind of moving very quickly to get into like, right, let's get this picture and all that kind of stuff. And then it's like, okay, the next crew are coming in, so you're gonna have to move on, everyone move along. And I'm okay, I can't do that now because we're literally they don't mess about the Javits either. They are on it. Hasbro as well, they're very much like, you've had your time, get the hell out of here. I did not mention Fans Hobby while I was there, White. Did Lenny ever receive the postcard? No, Stan, I think in the chat. I still haven't had a response about that. Sorry, Stan. I'll let you know as soon as I find out. Disappointment confirmed. Thank you, Jedi Ben. That's more like it. You let us down. Quit that hobby. I'm out. I'm out, FC Viper. I'm done. Silent Beachhead comic. Yes, we'll be talking about that on the weekly. It's looking cool, that first look, isn't it? If you've seen it, I'm very excited for the Silent Missions issues, and yeah, it looks cool, White, seriously. Chocolate covered donuts, grape soda, could be Viper Scout. I wish I'd asked the question now. Scott says, "No, man, all good. Like you said, no one else got it. You did great coverage." I'm going to read that one out for sure. I still feel terrible. Like, it's one of those obvious things as well. The more you think about it, I think one of the things was, it did feel like everything is out. You can't really touch anything. This is be respectful sort of job, isn't it? So it was only really dawned on me to say, oh, is there any chance we could look at the back of these things? Because we did on the Legacy Firefighter. I managed to get picture and video of that while we were right there, which was perfect because it was like, it wasn't in a similar situation. It was out the front. It wasn't in the back. So yeah, it's something that's going to bug me for the rest of my days. But I'll tell you this for now. If I'm ever in that position again, what's the first thing I'm doing? Trashing everything on those shelves. I'm accidentally falling into the shelf, so everything knocks off. And I'll help you pick it up. Snap, 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 snap. That's me taking pictures, by the way, not breaking the figures. Although probably both of those will happen. Hi, it's me. Says someone called Chris's mom. He's done a fantastic job at school, but is struggling to get past his minor failure. Indeed. Oh, was there another leak? Oh my goodness. What's he posted? What's he posted this time? Apparently Shaw Lu has posted another leak. I will share it if I see it, obviously. But yeah, I don't know what that is. Someone's going to have to... Oh, looks like we've got a possible Mercer leak. Interesting. I'll put it up on screen. So again, it's a Shaw Lu scenario. And it is this secondary, which has popped up, looks very much like Mercer's secondary. So like, news as it happens, guys. As it happens. So yeah, I'll post this in the chat. I should thank you, John Buscemi, for sending me that. Appreciate it. But yeah, that's pretty interesting. So yeah, I want to say, I could be wrong. No, I think this is actually kind of out there a little bit. But I think Mercer has sort of been semi-leaked anyway. Hasn't, and this again is sort of happened and is out there already. But the Sarge has been showing images of a possible figure he might have around the corner as well. So yeah, there you go. Ryan's already said it in the comments. Mercer's in the 2-pack with Desert Camo Sarge. That's what the Sarge himself has said at a convention in Atlanta last year. So there you go. The Sarge has been saying that. That's what I was tiptoeing around. And also, I believe he's also been showing images as well. So yeah, Mercer and Sarge. So it's not a surprise. But in any case, yeah, so a little cheeky leak of what could be Mercer's secondary there. So again, I'll post that after this episode and probably talk about it on the weekly rather than immediately tomorrow. I've just discussed it there. There's not much else to really go into, is there? Other than you guys seeing what the image looks like. Maybe we'll have an update for you on Saturday, but as far as this episode is concerned, let's just move through. Let's just move through the stuff at the moment. Sorry, just going to check my messages again. Anyway, yeah. So no other changes really on here to talk about, other than obviously Crystal Ball will be green by the 13th, probably by the next time you see this. And then 2026 still the same, information. Nothing has changed. Like I said, expect that to grow exponentially, and excuse me, expect it to start becoming clear as to what it is within the next, I don't know how many months it takes, but you know how leaks happen. I've seen putty with more backbone. Thank you, Roddy. That's a Mercer quote, by the way, if you weren't aware. I'm sure you are. And then, of course, name only reveals. Still Snake Eyes version 4, but at least we've seen that secondary now, so check. No other name only reveals as yet. We'll have to wait till the 18th for those, for the fan stream. We've got a fan stream on the 18th, guys. We have a fan stream on the 18th. Are we fully comprehending the amount of stuff we're seeing in a short period of time? I don't think we are. Good night, Eben. Thank you. Yeah, we've just talked about Enigma's Prime. We've literally just discussed it, put it on the screen a second ago for the Mercer secondary. We've kind of been talking about it, but thank you for coming on and letting us know. I appreciate it. Is there any surprise that Chris describes going full hench on the NYTF Joe display and then Mercer shows up in the leak? Yes. I did know it was coming, obviously, but I didn't, because we've known about that. The Sarge has been telling us. If the Mercer Sarge, then Taurus Red Dog are a given too? ? Oh, they all are. Everything is, Stan. Everything is a given. Everything. I'm going to go out on a limb and say I think we're getting closer and closer to the inevitable Hooded Cobra Commander. I don't think it's going to happen like ASAP. I just have a feeling that we'll get to a point and they're just going to go, yep, let's print some money. I just think that's going to happen, like, inevitably. I think everything's on the table. I think a HasLab Sky Striker is on the table. I think the only thing I'd say isn't on the table, because the table isn't big enough, is a flag or a Defiant. That's the only thing that's really not really possible for classified in any realistic, practical way. But I think everything else sort of can and probably will be done eventually. I can see it happening. Anyway, but yes, in terms of what you're saying, the Mercer Sarge situation, then yes, Taurus and Red Dog are almost certainly a given. You're absolutely right. Classified mobile command center confirmed. Ryan, stop it. Flag confirmed. Chris, stop it. Amazing. Also, digital renders down to just these three. Cold Slither, Slice and Dice, and of course the Ore Striker with Crankcase. I wonder if we'll see possible bits and bobs of these in the fan stream. Probably, maybe not. I think they'll focus on doing some of the other stuff that we've kind of also got on that list. But you never know. We might see, like, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw the Ore Striker, like in like person, them showing it off and all that kind of stuff. Because I think that's something. I think that's something that people want to see for sure. And yes, I've challenged Lenny to make a USS flag now. Yeah, there you get some good. I mean, though, just those three digital renders alone, the amount of parts, pieces, and plastic involved is phenomenally crazy. Good sets, those, really good. That's it, I think. One last thing I wanted to talk about before I go is that we have partnered with Codename Iowa, Brian Sauer, to make this t-shirt for the late Aaron Dietrich. It's really for the Dietrich family. All proceeds go to the Dietrich family, of course, after Aaron passed away very recently from cancer. We wanted to basically just homage him and put him in, a really cool, awesome t-shirt design as Aaron Ironblood is what I often used to refer to him as. And we thought it was really cool. It's an amazing design by Brian. And like I said, all the proceeds go to the Dietrich family. We've just literally been informed, or we've seen that Roma Collectibles will be kind of closing at some point, which was Aaron's store. So yeah, we just kind of, again, we just want to kind of, I want to personally say that losing Aaron was not just a very personally difficult thing, but just from a community standpoint, from the fandom, Roma Collectibles, obviously his family, his friends, everyone. It was just so, you know, he was larger than life. He was amazing. He was one of the nicest, one of the best human beings I think I've ever met, genuinely. And it's one of those things where I just felt like an instant kinship with him, and was absolutely freaking devastated for the news and everything. So I just want to, again, just really big up, honestly, the family and what they've gone through, and just shout them out. And on top of that, we just want to do a very small thing to help, and that's what this would be. So if you want to check this t-shirt out, if you want to get one, it is on codenameiowa.com on the store. I posted about it today on Facebook, on Facebook. So you go to check the Facebook link, and it'll take you straight to there. You know, any help is obviously always massively appreciated. And yeah, so just wanted to, one more time, that will actually be coming to a close on March the 9th. So you've got 3 days, but yeah, please, if you can, it would be awesome. Thank you very much. Right then, guys, thank you so much for joining me tonight for Crystal Ball and Snake Eyes version 4 first look, and technically Mercer's secondary as well. I'll post that in a second. I will see you probably, unless anything major happens, I'll see you tomorrow. But if anything major happens, I'll see you tomorrow. But other than that, I'll see you on Saturday for the weekly. Stay fresh, cheese bags. And as always, after 3, I think you know what to do. 1, 2, 3. Full force. Laters. That's it for this installment of the Full Force News Burst. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time, and as always, full force. Make sure you get involved with the discussion by liking, sharing, and commenting on these videos. And as always, you can keep up with the show after listening by following on all of our social platforms, links in the description. And if you would like to contact the show, you can message us on any of those platforms with feedback or questions. We also have a Patreon page, so if you want to show your support for the show, see your name up in lights on these videos, or enjoy exclusive bonus content, then check out patreon.com/The Full Force Podcast, or click the link on any of the posts this podcast appears in. Full force.